Before we start the video, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm Chandresh Mahajan, who is founder and chief educator at Exergic, which is India's most trusted and comprehensive institute for online gate preparation. I got an All India rank 37 from Gate Mechanical Engineering, and I am an ex Indian Oil officer, having 6+ years of teaching experience as of now. To know more about our GATE courses, you can contact us on these details. Also, you can download Exergic Gate Preparation app from Google Play Store. The link is available in the description of video.
Hello everyone, how are you all? After the announcement of multiple select questions MSQs in the updated gate pattern, many aspirants are getting totally focused on MSQs and they are forgetting how to improve their accuracy in other formats of questions as well. Obviously, it is important to have accuracy across all the types of questions, all the pattern of questions. But we must not forget that NAT questions so far, even as compared to the MSQ questions, what I have observed in the test series of Exergic, that NAT questions continues to be those type of questions where accuracy is not very high. And there are various ways, various tips in which you can improve the accuracy of NAT questions. And in this video, I am not going to talk about MSQs or MCQs, but only going to talk about NAT questions. And depending upon your feedback and your mails or requests, I may make more videos on the other type of questions as well, on MCQs as well as MSQs. Okay. And every year, since last 3-4 years, every year there are certain questions, NAT questions, where the range of the question is disputed. Students fight over it amongst themselves also and with IITs also, that the range of this question should be increased, or it is not the right range given. So maximum issue that aspirants face is in the NAT questions, and they will continue facing it even after MSQs are announced. Still, the most debated type of questions are going to be NAT questions because of the range. Talking about NAT questions, I am going to share 5 tips in this video which will definitely help you to improve the accuracy of NAT questions, or in general in other types of questions also. These tips are definitely going to help you. Let us start from the very first tip, that have an idea of the general range. Whatever values, whatever parameters we are studying, we must have an idea, a feel of how much their values should be in the practical situations. For example, if you can recall that we used to solve the questions, some questions in trigonometry, school level trigonometry, that there is a tower, we are walking towards the tower, we can see the angle tower top at an angle of this much, and then we moved further and now it is at different angle, so tell the height of the tower. These types of questions we have solved, right, in mathematics in school days. Suppose you are solving one of such question where height of the tower needs to be calculated, and the height of the tower comes out to be 1 mm, 1 millimeter. What do you think? Will that be a feasible answer? You will definitely think once that, yeah, something is wrong somewhere. I am looking at the tower 30° up, 45° up, and when I am calculating the answer, the height of tower is coming out to be 1 mm. Something must be wrong, right? Practically it does not seem correct. You will check your calculations once again, your concepts once again, and maybe you will find the error, right? But what happens if such question is asked in heat transfer? What happens if such question is asked in thermodynamics, where you have to know about some of the parameters, mainly of the properties, mainly of the different parameters used? For example, thermal conductivity. How much should be the thermal conductivity of good conductors? You should have an idea of that. so that you can check whatever answer you are getting, whether or not it makes sense or not, it lies in the general range or not. When you are finding out the viscosity, the kinematic viscosity, the dynamic viscosity, so many parameters we have across different subjects, you should have a general idea that this value generally lies around this much, right? So that when you get the answer, you should have a feel that whatever answer you are getting, whether it is logical or illogical, and it will help you in many cases. In many cases, only this thing is going to tell or at least prevent mistakes that can occur due to calculation blunders. If you are getting an answer which is not in the logical or the practical range, you should definitely check back the calculations. Point number one is that whatever parameters, there are hundreds of parameters that are used in different subjects, you must have a relevant idea that how much should be the practical value of this parameter in heat transfer, this parameter in fluid, in strength of materials, in thermodynamics. A general idea you should have. It will also help you in interviews. In interviews also these things can be asked. The second very effective tip is to put the values as late as possible. Whenever you are solving a question which may or may not be in terms of variables, question may give you direct values, but rather than directly putting the values in the formulae, try to keep the expression in terms of variable as much as you can. Don't put the values in the first step and then using that value calculate something else and then using that calculate something else. Do not do this. Such things accumulate the approximation error. There would be some approximation in the first calculation that is used for second calculation, which will even increase or accumulate the error, and as you keep solving ahead, you keep using that value, the error is going to increase, and there are chances that your answer may not lie in the range given by the IITs. That is why make sure to put the values as late as possible into the expression, because there are chances that some of the values may cancel out with each other, and when you put the values and you do the calculation in the last few steps, the chances of accumulation of error is automatically reduced, and this is something which will also save your time. When you try to do unnecessary calculation in every step, that is going to consume your time because you have to do it in the virtual calculator. Keeping the terms in variable does not require virtual calculator a lot, so it will definitely save your time as well. It will increase your accuracy as well. So this is the time when you are writing full length test, you are practicing to write 3-hour test, 80-minute test format. This is the time to practice these things. These are not the tips that you can expect to apply directly in GATE. If you think that I have listened to what tips sir has given and now I will directly apply in GATE, there are very less students who can do it. Majority of such tips require habit, practice, which must be done right now when you have time, when you are practicing full length test mocks. So start doing this right now. Another tip which you can start right now, which you can start doing right now, is solving the MCQ question, multiple choice question, also as NAT questions, mainly numerical questions I'm telling about. Because what we do, that generally whenever we look at questions and it's an MCQ question, we go through the different values, and obviously these values guide us in the final steps, whether the way we have solved the question is correct or not, right? But don't look at the options. Numerical MCQ questions, treat them as NAT in practice, not in GATE. Don't do this in GATE. In practice you do this. This will help you in improving your calculation accuracy, because in NAT questions, majority difference from MCQ is due to calculation accuracy. How you can improve the accuracy of calculation, that is what they test differently from the MCQ question. So to become comfortable with NAT questions, make sure that whatever question you write in test series or in any of the practice, it's a MCQ question, do not look at the options. I am talking about numerical questions. In GATE, you have to look at the options, but if you try to always be the topper of the FLT or practice test that you are writing, it is not a good approach. Right now, you should try to experiment different things, what is working for you. Do not always try to target to be the topper of the full length test that you are writing, of the test series that you are writing, and if you are not getting good marks, then you are not feeling very good about it. That's a separate discussion, we will do it in some other video. But right now, try to experiment and see what is working for you. Try to develop good habits, and developing good habits may be difficult because you may have to sacrifice some of the marks in full length test that you are writing right now in test series, but ultimately it will help you in GATE. So please do this. The third tip that I am giving you, treat numerical MCQ questions also as NET questions without looking at the options. Solve it and then finally look at the option whether the answer that you got is near to the answer or exactly to the options given or not. Doing this will highlight some of the calculation mistakes that you do, which you may ignore if you just look at the option and directly tick it. Clear? The fourth tip that I am sharing with you, it may require an example separately. In fact, the different tips that I am giving you, they are best explained using some example, and that's what I do. Whatever tips regarding question I want to give, I do not just share the tip, I tell those tips when I am solving some question, when I am explaining some question. That's the best way to understand them, right? But obviously, if I start solving one question to explain each of the tips, it will be a very long video and not required at this point of time. So the tip that I am sharing with you right now can give you an incorrect answer or an answer which is out of the range for actual GATE questions also, which have been asked in past 2-3 years. The tip is that if you are rounding off up to 3 places of decimal, up to 4 places of decimal, whatever be that number, always round off all the numbers up to the exact same place of decimal. Do not round off one term up to 3 place, other term up to 2 place, then third thing up to 4 place within the same answer. Do not do this. Now, I just want to explain it using a question, but it will consume a lot of time. It is a question from GATE 2020 itself. But rounding off up to different places of decimal while solving the same question will or may get you your answer out of the range. Ideally, you should try to round off up to 3 places of decimal, and if values are coming out to be very small, then maybe up to 4 places of decimal. Avoid rounding off up to 2 places of decimal. But once you have decided that for this question I am going to round off up to 3 places, then don't do some numbers up to 3 place, some numbers up to 4 place, some numbers up to 2 place. Don't do this. It may give you an answer which is out of the range. The fifth and the final tip regarding the accuracy of NET questions is a tip on which I have explained it in the video course in the solved example, and also I have shared that tip on the YouTube channel of Exergic. The very last video, the previous video that I uploaded was on the same tip. Suppose the question is asking you to find out the answer in meters, okay, and in millimeter, and you are doing the calculation in the normal way. Majority of the aspirants prefer to calculate in the standard unit, the meter, right or not? And that's very much fine. But what happens that when you do the calculation in meter, but answer is required in what you do in the last step, you multiply it with 1000, and that's where the blunder occurs. For example, look at this question. Not a question, just a small example. You are solving a question, you have got the answer as 0.123 meters, but answer is required in Up to this point, you are doing very good. Up to 3 places of decimal, you are considering everything, which is good. But once you multiply this with 1000, it becomes 123.0. Now this value is not accurate even up to 1 place of decimal. because the fourth number here is not present. Maybe this number was 8, maybe this number was 4, 3, 1. You have not considered it right now. You will say that, sir, it was 4, but I rounded off up to 3. So I have considered that number here. That is also a possibility, but that will also lead to inaccurate answer. Listen to me carefully. So up to 3 places of decimal you have rounded off the things. You have only data up to 3 places of decimal. Now you are multiplying it with 1000. So it converted to 123.0. And now suppose the range of this question, because answer is required in mm, so range of this question is 123.2 to 123.6, let's say. Okay, your answer, which you are doing very correctly up to this point, has suddenly got out of the range because you multiplied with 1000. Here you have not considered the digits after the third place of decimal, and now your answer is out of range. It does not mean that, sir, now I will start taking it up to 4 place of decimal. Maybe this range, this value will be up to second place of decimal. Then even if you are taking up to 4 place of decimal, your answer will still be incorrect, right? There are good chances that you will get answer like 1, 2, 3 and 1. And after rounding off also, you got 123.1, which will lead to incorrect answer, right or not? So what tip I am giving you right now is, whenever there is a question where answer is required in smaller units like mm, like centimeter, I am just giving the example of length. It is true for all the other parameters also. Do the calculation in that exact same unit. Do not try to calculate in meters and then convert that into smaller units. It's a very rare tip, but it can help you improve your accuracy greatly. Opposite is true. If answer is required in meter, you can do calculation in mm and convert that into meter, because if you do the calculation in mm, you have got the answer in mm as 123.456, up to 3 places of decimal you have got in mm. When you convert that to meter, it will become even more accurate, 0.123 meters. Last 3 numbers are not coming here, right, after the decimal. So even if you did not consider it after the decimal, still 0.123 meters is correct up to 3 places of decimal. So this thing, what I am telling you, is going to be applicable when the answer is required in smaller units like millimeter, centimeter, or for any other parameter other than length also. But you are choosing to calculate in the standard unit, and in the final step you are trying to convert that into smaller unit. There, these types of error are bound to occur. So always try to calculate in the smaller unit if question is asked in the smaller unit. If it is asked in the larger units, you are free to choose whatever way you want to calculate. So I'm sure these 5 tips are going to help you improve your NAT accuracy. And again, I'm telling you, every year there are toppers which are divided and debating over the range of NAT questions. Toppers also are in conflict of the right range. They are in conflict with each other also, and as I told you, with IITs also, by challenging the question and all those things. So it is very important, whether you are comfortable in NAT or not, be comfortable in NAT. The tips that I have given you, apply them in the test series, in the questions of the test series, so that it automatically flows out of your hand in the actual GATE examination.